Alright, so simple doesn't always mean easy, but I do think there is some benefit in striving for simplicity in our day-to-day lives, especially in a world that always seems to be pushing us to do more. More clothes, more vacations, more makeup, more self-care, more TikTokable, Instagrammable moments. I think we all need that simple reminder that it's probably better to get back to basics. And you know the thing that your grandma used to say, keep it simple, stupid. So in today's video, I want to share with you tiny things you can do to start simplifying your life today, like right now. This is just to give you some insights and ideas on how some of your everyday habits may be making your life more complicated and where you can find opportunities to make life easier for yourself. So let's get into it. Number one is to stick to your favorites. And I think especially when it comes to things like makeup and skincare. Look, it's always fun and exciting to try something new and to experiment, but at least in my experience, this can get really complicated, overwhelming, and really expensive really fast. Nowadays with social media, it is so easy to get caught up in all the newness, in all the must-haves, holy grails, and this will change your life type of products. But at least for me, this only ever made things way more complicated. Not to mention do this to my skin and this to my bank account. Not only does this create a lot of waste because this stuff expires, but I think it actually makes your skin worse. Because too many products, especially all at once, can lead to a lot of irritation. And I think worst of all of this just wastes your time. Because if you really think about it, most of us trade our time for money. And then we go out to exchange that money, which costs our time, for stuff that we don't end up even using. So I'm not saying not to experiment, but if your medicine cabinet or your makeup collection looks like this, then I think it's a good time to be honest with yourself about how much you're actually using. If you are looking to simplify, especially in your skincare or beauty routine, keep it simple by sticking to a few key products. Know your favorites, know what works for you, and ditch the rest. And I think your skin and your wallet will thank you for it. Number two is to have a place for everything. I can't tell you how much easier and more streamlined my life got the more I started putting things back where they belong. I'll thank my partner Jeff for that one. Not only do I no longer scramble looking for my keys every morning, making getting out the door much less of a rush, but it'll also help keep your space neat and tidy for the majority of the time. So doing things like putting your shoes on your shoe rack when you get home, hanging up your jacket in the closet instead of letting it pile up on the chair. You know everyone has one. And this even makes things like finding your wallet in your bag a whole lot easier if you put it in the same place every single time. A lot of the tips in this video is really going to be about ways that you can calm down and eliminate the scramble from your life, and putting things back where they belong is a great way to get started doing that. It's basically how you keep your future self calm and at ease. Reduce clunky packaging. Eliminate the clutter. A study from Princeton University shows that physical clutter diverts our attention, making it much more difficult to concentrate and get things done. And clutter can really creep up anywhere. On your desk, in your bag, in your kitchen, in your closet, and even in your glove box. One way I like to reduce the amount of things and clutter in my space is to minimize on unnecessary packaging where I can. And that's where I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, True Earth. I've been using True Earth laundry strips for years, and they're legit. Each strip is ultra concentrated, where one strip is equivalent to one load, so all you have to do is toss it in the wash and you're good to go. It makes doing laundry so much easier, and my favorite part is that it saves so much space while cutting down your waste at the same time. Like, this is our entire laundry kit. So no more bulky, ugly plastic laundry jugs just cluttering up your space. And don't forget, this also applies to travel. Save space in your carry-on and prevent unwanted spills by packing a few of these in your suitcase, and you'll be good to go. It's really one of my favorite space-saving travel hacks. So thank you so much to True Earth for sponsoring this video. If you wanted to save 10% on your first order, I'll leave my code down in the description below. But just so you know, I have this code in every single one of my videos, so you know where to look once you're ready to buy. Thanks so much, True Earth, and thanks for keeping it simple. Fold vertically so you can see everything. Ever since I discovered Marie Kondo, I've been folding my clothes this way. Because when you're looking for that one shirt to wear in the morning, you can't tell me that this makes it easier to find than this. Declutter your closet with the hanger method. This is one of my favorite ways to start decluttering your wardrobe because it's a visual cue that really can't lie to you. All you have to do at the start of the season is flip the hangers in your closet backwards, and each time you actually wear the garment, flip the hanger back to its correct position. At the end of whatever timeline you've given yourself, let's say 3 to 6 months, Anything that's still backwards is your glaring, honest truth of what you haven't worn. And at that point, you can either make your plan to style it or to let it go. But the visuals are not going to lie to you. Find your signature style uniform. And when I say this, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to rock the whole Steve Jobs thing where you wear the same jeans and turtleneck every single day of your life. I mean, if you want to do that, I love that for you. But if you're a fashion lover like me who still wants to keep it simple, then I think finding your style uniform is absolutely key. If you know the outfit formulas you like to wear, then it makes getting dressed so easy, even if you're styling different pieces every time. Figuring this out for me has really eliminated that whole closet full of clothes and nothing to wear problem, so it makes getting dressed every day really simple. Unsubscribe from any junk mail as soon as you see it. So I will say that I am a proud inbox zero girly, and a lot of why that is because I don't allow any bullshit into my digital space. I simply do not need to know if a sale is going on or if I forgot something in my cart. But if it does happen to make its way in there, which sometimes it can, then I make sure to unsubscribe immediately. It's something I don't like to leave until later because that's how things pile up and probably why your inbox looks like this instead of this. Stop pushing the easy stuff to later. Things like replying to a quick email or putting the dishes away. If it will take you less than 5 minutes to do, just do it. I think it's easy to think that just because a task is mundane or low effort, it makes it easier to put it on the back burner. But the more you do this, the more it just becomes another later that you've tacked on to your growing list of laters that you're still not doing, by the way. So if it's easy, don't think about it, just do it. Enough with the huge to-do lists. To me, nothing makes a day more complicated than having a gigantic to-do list. So much so that when I used to do this, most of the things on my list wouldn't even end up getting done because I was in this perpetual to-do list loop of over-promising and under-delivering. This becomes extremely unmotivating, and I find you end up getting less done than if you just stuck to a simple list of a maximum of 3 items. I like to divide my to-do list into one large task that takes up most of my day, followed by light to moderate but achievable tasks that are easy to accomplish. It makes the list so much easier to stick to, and things actually end up getting done. Schedule your life priorities like they are work. When life gets busy, it's really easy to let other healthy habits slide, like your eating, your sleep, and your fitness. But I would argue that these are much more important things to stick to when life does get busy, because they lay the foundation of you actually being able to do the work that you need to do. That's why I've started to schedule things like meals, breaks, and my workouts, just like I'd schedule a 9-to-5 workday. Especially if you work from home or work for yourself, it's really easy to let the lines between work and life get too blurry, and really I found all this means is that you just have boundaries. And sometimes you do have to push through to get things done, I'm not saying that, but your health and your downtime is just as important, if not more important, than your work. And in my experience, if you're consistent with these habits, it actually means that you're going to be doing better work in the long run. So if I happen to be working from home, I set my alarm for the same time every day. I get up, I make a coffee, I get ready just as if I had to leave the house to commute to work and be at my desk at a certain time. I schedule lunch and take breaks just the way I would do if I was at work. And I also clock out and check into my workouts the same way I would do if I was working in an office setting. So pick a schedule that works for you. Maybe working out after work is not possible for you, so that's when you can try moving it to your morning or your midday. But I think it's important to show up for these things as if you would get fired if you didn't do them. Say no more. Look, okay, this is easier said than done, but if you don't start saying no more for yourself, then people are gonna start saying yes for you. Because whenever you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. And if those yeses are all about things that don't actually matter to you, then you're saying no to yourself and your other goals. So if you say working out is really important to you, but you always find yourself saying yes to that happy hour with friends over and over and over again, then you're really saying no to that other goal of fitness. Say no to what you don't want and yes to what you actually do. Try a no-buy. I talk a lot about things like no-buy and low-buy on my channel. I even have a no-buy journal coming out in 2025, so stay tuned. But I like to do these every couple of months or every other month to sprinkle in what I look at as a dopamine detox throughout my year. But if that sounds like too much for you, then start by doing a couple of no-spend days or weeks per month. I find it's a really great way to disconnect from that feeling of wanting all the time, and it's a really fun way to get more use and focus on what you already have. Plus you save money. Never shop without a plan. Look, I am not against shopping at all, but I am against accumulating unnecessary clutter and mindless impulse buying. And that's why I never shop without a plan. This goes for when I'm online shopping, when I'm thrifting, and even at the grocery store. Because it is so easy to get distracted by all the deals and the impulse aisles, but it's likely going to just end up as extra junk in your cart and wasted money out of your wallet. I saw a quote the other day that said, "All this junk used to be money," and that really helps me think twice before I buy anything nowadays. And finally, it is to be consistent. The thing is, none of these tips, tricks, and new habits that you try to implement are gonna matter or do anything at all unless you're consistent with them. And with this, you definitely don't need to start all at once. Pick one or two things that speak to you and weave them into your daily routine to make them a habit. And just build from there. I don't know about you, but I find I feel happiest and at my best and most motivated when I am consistent with my routine. And the most interesting thing I've gathered from this is that sticking to your daily routines doesn't actually make life boring. It just makes life better. So those are 15 small but mighty things that you can get started today to simplify your life. And simple doesn't necessarily mean easy, but I find it's always worth it in the end. Let me know some tiny habits and changes that you've made to simplify your life that led to big results. Leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It's a great way you can help support me. Subscribe if you're new, if you like what you see, and if you want even more bonus content, you can also check out my Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday.